Namaste, everyone. Good evening. I'm Jenny from JD Healing Vibes. For that yoga session that I'm going to be showing you tonight, we are going to be doing the spread leg posture, seated version, or in Sanskrit, Upavista Konasana. Now this sequence is a stretching sequence mainly, but there is a strengthening element to it at the end as well. It is a good sequence for people who want to develop their flexibility of the hips, of the hamstrings, and of the calf muscles, as well as the inner thighs. It is also a lovely sequence for the spine, stretching the spine in all of the directions. It has a forward bending, spinal twist, and also side stretch element, and for the final position, a slight back bend as well. We are going to be doing the movements with the legs stretched out, and so the benefits of this particular sequence, they can be done readily by people who have knee problems and who find it difficult to bend their knees. So there isn't any knee bending elements in this particular sequence of movements. Also, the Upavista Konasana spread leg posture is a good set of movements to do for ladies who are pregnant, especially because it will help to open up the pelvic area and loosen and limber the hip joints. It is always advisable to check with your medical doctor to make sure that you are doing well with your pregnancy and that it is okay to do yoga exercises. And in any case, when you are pregnant, always slightly modify the movements and adapt them as your pregnancy advances. So you may start off early in the pregnancy doing the movements in fairly strong or general way, and then as you advance you'll be easing off, especially in the forward bends and spinal twists and side stretches, just making them a much more gentle version towards the final stages of pregnancy. Modifying is also a good thing to do if you do have any lower back issues. Some of the movements we will be working a little bit in that area and just adapt and just ease off. Don't try to do the movements to an advanced level. Just to again also be very mindful when you're working with your neck, keeping the neck in line with the spine and not moving your neck in a direction that feels uncomfortable or feels as if it's straining for you. So we're going to begin the sequence by coming onto your mat, your yoga mat, sitting, and then just gently releasing the legs and stretching them out, giving them a little bit of a shape to begin with. And then bend your knees and give the inner thighs a little pat. So this is all just to prepare the muscles, warming them up a little bit for the stretches, patting the back of the thighs, a little bit of a rub down through the calves, and then gently leaning back and flopping the knees and feet in and out. And then bringing your feet together and gently rocking from side to side, just starting to stretch into the lower back area. And then coming to sit up in a centre position, and we're going to move into what we call the staff position first. So just starting to move forward, starting to stretch a little into the lower back and the back of the hamstrings. Bringing the hands behind, so we're going to grab the buttocks, pull the flesh of the buttocks outwards, and then slowly coming up to sit up in the centre. Bring the shoulders towards your ears and let them roll back. Relax them down, chin parallel to the ground. So this is the starting posture or asana, which we start with in a lot of our seated yoga postures. Now we're going to be doing some quite strong movements, developing the strength in the core, and sometimes we need to have a little cushion that we can use to tuck under the bottom for a little bit of support. But I'll show you how to do that in a moment. Just have it handy, especially if you're a beginner or you're feeling that even the staff posture is a little bit strong for you to stay in for any length of time, because it does require some strength in the core, also a little bit of flexibility at the hamstrings and in the lower back area. So now beginning to move the feet outwards, so we are spreading the legs, and you're just spreading your legs to a position that is nice wide stretch, but not to the point where you're uncomfortable. And then we're going to try and get a little bit more forward on the sit bones. So if you're bringing your hands down onto the floor next to the thighs, lifting the bottom up a little bit, lean forward and then pressing the bottom back to the floor so that you are more forward on the sit bones. And then we just do a little bit of a rock. This is a loosening up movement to loosen the hip joints, hamstrings, and the inner thigh area. Coming back to centre, just moving myself a little bit more centred so we are able to see that foot there in camera. Sometimes that's the way, so it's a little bit better. Now if you're feeling that this is not an easy position for you to manage and you feel as if you're sort of sinking back a little bit too much, then that's where this cushion becomes handy, and we just tuck it a little bit underneath the bottom so it helps to push you a little bit further forward on your sit bones. So that is to be used if you need it. So I'm just going to get that out of the way now so we can work on this forward bending element. So the first thing we're going to do is gradually move forward, making the stretch come from the inner thigh and the back of the legs. You're also going to get a lovely spine stretch. So bringing the hands to just above the knees. And inhale deeply, open and lifting up through the front of the body. On your exhalation, bending from the hips and moving forward just a little bit, bringing your hands a little bit lower than your knees, opening up through the front of the body and taking a couple of deep breaths. If you can, you're also curling your toes towards you a little bit. That way you'll work your calf muscles, stretching them a little more. And then inhale, come up slowly. And we have a little bit of a rest in between. And if you wish, resting, you can lean back a little and just flopping the feet, the knees a little bit, so we just relax them while we're resting. And then coming back up. So once again, just make sure you're forward on your sit bones, sitting up nice and tall. Placing the hands just above the knees. So we're going to move down into it again and take it a little bit further if you can. So we take a deep breath in. On your exhalation, moving forward from the hips and sliding the hands maybe about halfway down the calves. Open the chest. Press the back of the knees toward the floor a little bit more if you can. It's also making sure neck is in line with the spine. It's breathing as you're holding, curling toes towards you if you can. Good. And then inhale, come up slowly. And once again, relax back with a little bit of a release of those feet again. So now we're going to move into that final forward bending position. And this is where we're going to go to whatever your maximum capacity is. You might have already gotten there already, and that's fine. You just go to that point again if you can. So we're taking a deep breath in. Exhale, moving from the hips, moving forward, sliding the hands down. So we're coming down to wherever you can, clasping either low down on the legs, or some of you may be able to grab your toes and softening upper body towards the floor just as far as you can. Hold the position, breathing in and out. You can release a little bit on the inhalation. On the exhalation, moving down a little bit further into the position. And then inhale, lift the front of the body slightly. And we're going to move into the side stretch position from here. So releasing your left side, slowly begin sliding the left hand up the left leg, and we're moving over the right side, gradually coming down over that right thigh. Once you've gone as far as you can, if you're down at your big toe, catch the big toe with the index finger and thumb. If you're not at that position, just grabbing down low on that right leg. For those who can, try and move your right arm a little bit further inside the leg, and then lift up and open the chest, lifting the left shoulder. Staying there now. If you do have any shoulder issues, you can leave your arm, this left arm, resting on the thigh. If your shoulder is all right, you have no issues, then touching the left shoulder, breathing in, stretching your left arm up, and then exhaling, taking your left arm over your ear. A lot of people won't be touching their hands together because we want to keep the arm over the ear. But if you've got a long arm or you're well down towards your thigh, you may be able to touch hand to hand. And then gently look toward the ceiling underneath the top arm with some deep breaths. If your neck is uncomfortable, adjust your head. You might be looking forward or down for if you have any neck issues. So just keep breathing deeply, holding the stretch. And then we're going to move into another forward bend. So moving the upper body down over the right thigh, moving your right arm to the right side of the leg, left arm to the left side of the leg, and softening your upper body towards the right thigh. Keeping the neck in line with the spine. Take some deep breaths in and out, feeling this really strong now hamstring and calf stretch. And then breathing in, sliding the hands slowly up the leg, gradually uncurl the spine, coming back to the centre, and then sitting back, and just again we'll do that little bit of a release. If you need to fully release your legs, just bring them in, bend them, have a little bit of a pat of the back of the legs. So it's quite a strong set of movements. So now we are going to do all of those movements on the other side to make things even. Now just remember, sometimes we have one side a little bit more flexible, a little bit tighter than the other side. So you're working to your capacity, but remember, don't strain or cause any pain. So once again, making sure forward on the sit bones, legs extended out, curl the toes towards you, place your hands just above the knees, and we're going to go into that forward bending movement first. Just taking a deep breath in. On your exhalation, moving forward, sliding the hands down. This is coming down into your maximum position, softening the upper body down. Hold for a couple of breaths, moving down a little bit further on the exhalation. On the inhalation, slightly release the stretch. And then we release this time the right side, sliding the right hand slowly up the leg, coming gradually over the left side. So the upper body moving over the left thigh. Once you feel you're at your maximum, you're either grabbing low down on the leg, or if you can reach your big toe, catch the big toe with your index finger and thumb. Moving your left arm inside the thigh as much as you can. If you have a shorter arm or you're not quite down as low, then that may not happen, or you might find that the arm is a little above the leg. That's fine. You just work into your capacity. And then lifting the right shoulder, open the chest. So you're just sinking down towards the left thigh. So for this side, if you have any issues with your right shoulder, just leave the arm as it is. Otherwise, we touch the right shoulder, breathing in, stretch the right arm up, and then exhale as we bring the right arm over the ear, hands towards each other, keeping the arm above the ear. So remember, your hands may be apart, that's fine. And then gently looking toward the ceiling under your arm, or modify for any neck problems. And taking some deep breaths as we hold. So these are very strong side stretches. So if you're finding it's a little bit strong, you don't have to move into them as deeply. Ease off the position if you need to. And then carefully rotating upper body towards the left thigh and softening down, bringing each arm either side of the leg. Remember, if you're pregnant, don't press or squeeze the abdominal area down. We want to keep a little bit of space between the belly and the thigh. Softening down, holding with a couple of breaths. And then breathing in, slide the hands up the leg, gradually, slowly uncurl. And then coming back to sit in the center once again. Leaning back and relax and give the feet a little bit of a release too. So for the final position, we're going to do a little lifting position. This has got an opening up. It's sort of not quite a back arch, but it's sort of just lifts the pelvis and press it outwards a little bit, so that we're opening up to do a bit of a counter pose. Just with this one, it's important to be aware, don't work from the knees. We want to work more from the hips. So if there's any issue with your knees, just stop and rest and don't continue. Also, this one's a strong one on the upper body. It's good strengthening one for shoulders, arms and wrists. So your hands are on the floor beside you. Breathing in, lifting the bottom up off the floor as high as you're able to go. Lean back a little towards your shoulders. And then gently turning both feet in the same direction. Remember, moving from the hips. Inhale, lift up the bottom. moving from the hips, rotating the feet in the other direction. Breathing in, lift again, exhale, one more round, turning feet in the same direction. Breathing in, exhale, moving the feet the other direction. And then inhale, back to centre, lower your bottom gently down, and then slowly moving the legs back in. Do a little bit of releasing after that. So now you can feel you had some really good leg stretching, especially the hamstrings, back of the knees and calves, and the inner thigh area. So giving that a little pat as well. And then come into the most comfortable sitting position for you. So if you are comfortable crossing your legs, sitting with your legs crossed. If not, you can sit on your heels in diamond posture or sit with your legs stretched out but not too open. And we'll release the shoulders, the neck and the wrist after doing that strong stretching sequence. Placing your hands on your legs, just doing a little bit of shrugging of your shoulders, releasing tension from the shoulders, and then alternately roll the shoulders nice and slowly, and reverse, going the other way. And then let them relax back and down. Bring your hands up, tucking your elbows in towards your body. A little wrist sequence. So we're going to just bring the hands up and down, moving from the wrists. And then back to the centre and moving the hands from side to side. And again, just working from the wrists. And then rotating the hands, palms facing down. Reverse the direction and turn the palms up, and then we do the up and down movement again. So these are all just releasing any areas of tension in the wrists, and then side to side, and then rotating palms up and reverse. And then squeeze tightly into a fist, stretching and spread the fingers, let them relax and give them a good wiggle and a little shake. And then we're going to do a neck stretching sequence to finish off. So we're going to clasp our hands behind the head, and then inhale, slowly look up to the ceiling, drawing your elbows back and squeezing the shoulder blades towards each other. On your exhalation, very slowly taking your head down, bringing your chin onto your chest and pressing down on the head. Lovely stretch all through the centre of the back of the neck. Inhale, slowly bring your head up, back to centre. Pull the elbows back, pressing your head into your hands, looking toward the ceiling. Squeeze the shoulder blades towards each other. Exhale as we once again bring the head slowly down, tucking the chin onto the chest. And while your head is down, slowly turn your head to look towards your left upper arm, pressing down firmly. Hold for a couple of breaths. Make sure that you keep the rest of the spine straight. Slowly bring the chin back to the centre, and then exhale as we slowly turn to look towards the right upper arm, pressing firmly down on the head, and hold for a couple of deep breaths. And then inhaling, bring the chin back to the centre and very slowly lifting your head back to the centre, releasing and relaxing the arms. Bring the shoulders up and very slowly roll your head in a slow circular movement. And then reverse and rolling your head in another slow circular movement in the other direction. And then bring your head back to center and then let the shoulders relax back and down. And that concludes the yoga sequence, Upavista Konasana, spread leg posture in the seated position. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed our session tonight. And please come back to JD Healing Vibes to enjoy some more beautiful yoga asana. Namaste, everybody.